Welcome aboard the HMS Caroline. You are now on board a very special and unique survivor, a light cruiser, around 4,000 tons of floating steel. Nothing light about that, I hear you say. She's lightly protected, only 3 inches, 8 centimetres of steel armour along her sides. Her big sisters, the battle cruisers and dreadnoughts, some of them top the scales at more than 35,000 tons, with 13 inches, 33 centimetres of armour. Now she's light. She needs to be. She's a lean, mean torpedo boat killer with a fine turn of speed. Also, by keeping U-boats at bay, she protects the fleet as well as merchant convoys. And what if she's caught? Well, there's a sting in her tail and fire in her belly. Just you wait and see. Today, Caroline is many things. She's been part of Belfast for over 90 years. The big shed, for instance, what we call the drill hall, that was built as a gunnery school in the 1920s. But now, it's the 31st of May 1916, and back to business. We've cracked the code and know the whole German fleet is all steamed up and out to cause trouble. So let's go spoil their day. When you're ready, make your way into the drill hall and hang on tight. Captain Ralph Crook has far more private space than anyone else on the ship. A dining cabin, day cabin, a sleeping cabin with ensuite bathroom, and a sea cabin on the navigating bridge. The captain's dining cabin speaks volumes about rank. Silver service, 3-course meals, comfortable furniture, a fine coal stove, and 4 personal stewards in attendance. Life at the top can be lonely, and more often than not, Ralph Crook dined alone.
Now you know that officers in the Royal Navy, port, gin, whiskey, not rum. An officer in the Royal Navy would not drink rum. And this goes right back to Nelson's time, because Nelson came back in a rum barrel. And still to this day, an officer will not drink rum. Tell you what, we've got written stories about these gunners. And the way they were, you take it, there was a guy up on a mast at the back end there, where the drill shed is. And he was shouting down to these through their earphone, up a bit, left a bit fire. When you took on when you take it on the Germans, on why the Germans hit so many ships of ours, they had, and it was only after the First World War we realised this and found this out, they had like a plotting table, a GDR, gunnery direction room, with plywood discs, so they were able to put in the speed, direction of the ship, stuff like that. And those were the controls that they were giving their guns.
Facing aft over the stern are Caroline's 2 big 6-inch guns. They're the sting in her tail. There's one here on the quarterdeck and another on the aft gun deck above. They can fire a 100-pound shell a distance of 7.5 miles. These big guns are for fending off a more heavily armed enemy, as Caroline skedaddles full speed back to the fleet. The gun crews are under instruction from Caroline's gunnery officer, Lieutenant Commander Drummond. He's located high up in the aft control position, from where he calculates the range and speed of the target. Shells are pretty weatherproof, so they're stored in ready-use racks on deck. Each shell is colour-coded: bright yellow for high explosive, black for armour-piercing, and bronze for shrapnel. The explosive charges needed for firing the guns are brought up from the magazines below. When you're ready, we can use the stairs or the lift to go down to the lower deck.
Coming into the water. What you see there is a suite. All suites within the Royal Navy are called duffs. So that's a plum duff, it could be an apple duff, it could be anything like that at all. But as I say, and as we were just saying, when this table, or these tables, this is not the original table, but the original chair. But when the original table was set up here, or up on that big drill space, it could be over 100 metres long. And when all the silver went onto it, there's about £1 million worth of silver went onto that table. Stuff, the silver that had been passed on from other ships to Caroline. Inside it you have a mattress, your blanket, and your pillow. The far end would have been your uniform, your number 1 uniform, folded and used it as a pillow. And it also kept it creased, and you didn't need to bring it out when you were folding up your hammock to store your hammock. So it was kept in that all the time. Right, what you see here is the meal at 1800 hours. Full meat and veg, plus a duff. But if we go back to the morning breakfast, porridge, bread, you've got the big pan, the big pot there, it would be taken up to the galley, the bakers then would load that up with bread, and the mess man would bring that down, along with the kai kettle. Now what's kai? Kai, if we take it what they were drinking here, tea was being drank by the officers, coffee was non-existent at the time, cocoa was. And kai is cocoa and grated chocolate. And we still drink it to this day at sea. When I was in Gibraltar last year with the Navy, June and July, we were doing watches at night, we would drink kai, keep us awake. Great stuff. 1913, Caroline's keel was laid. 1914, she was launched. So in 12 months, they built 6 of these, right? In Caroline and Liverpool. And what happened there, she went out with the other ships and did her trials. Then it was looking towards war. They thought, wait a minute, if we're going to use Caroline as a scout ship, we've got to do something with her and the rest of them to make them look like the German light cruisers. And this is where the tripod came in and the third funnel. So anyway, Caroline went out, did her job in Jutland. Then after Jutland, after the war had finished, 1922 they brought her back to Portsmouth, removed her 4 propellers, her big rudder, her boilers, anything that was worth wanting on Caroline was all removed off her because they were actually going to scrap her. She went into a line of ships that were going to be scrapped. Now, I believe it was Lord Murray or somebody like that. He was asked to start an RNVR, Royal Naval Voluntary Reserve, here in Northern Ireland. And he was going along the ships, out in the boat, and he looked at Caroline and he said, that's the ship for me. And they towed Caroline across and they brought her into Culloch Dock.